welcome all viewers and subscribers back to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about Mr. Vegas, and we're also going to talk about narcissism and what narcissism is. Okay, let's talk about Mr. Vegas first, and then we will get into this narcissism, our narcissistic behavior that Mr. Vegas have, where a lot of people choose to be a blind eye, refuse to pay attention to the fact that is right in front of us. You understand? Mr. Vegas been crying out on the internet. You understand? Mr. Vegas have a lot of mental issue. You understand? Mr. Vegas been suffering for a while now with mental disorder. You understand? Not because we're from Jamaica and we understand that we believe that, okay, only when a person is in dirty clothes or eating from a trash can, we consider them as mentally ill person. We will explain a little bit about a few of these signs that Mr. Vegas have. Mr. Vegas been showing. Let's make one thing clear. You understand? This is not a bash or a hit out against Mr. Vegas. Mr. Vegas is a legend. Is one of Jamaican best. Is one of the person who really bring dancehall and reggae music. You understand? Across the globe. You understand? Mr. Vegas have a lot of contribution to that, so we can classify Mr. Vegas as a legend. You understand? A dancehall icon, a dancehall. One of the dancehall greatest. You understand? We will get that out. We will make that clear. Say, Mr. Vegas, the legend, one of the legend in dancehall. You understand? All of us grew up listening to Mr. Vegas. You understand? And we know the Mr. Vegas that sing Exile. We know the Mr. Vegas. We know a lot of songs from Mr. Vegas. You understand? We cannot doubt the fact that Mr. Vegas is a legend. You understand? So this is not a hit out against Mr. Vegas. You understand? But we will explain a few things, a few signs that Mr. Vegas been showing. We see Mr. Vegas been through a lot of things on the internet. We see Mr. Vegas, his wife cheated on him. There was also some allegation about he don't have the right for one of his child and such things, and we don't even know, how is it with business? You understand? Because Mr. Vegas can be going through a lot of stuff. You understand? Because there is so many things that Mr. Vegas been doing on social media, where there's a lot of Christian to it. There's a lot of unanswered Christian there to it. You understand? Because Mr. Vegas also become a social media bully. You understand? And that is not the Mr. Vegas we know. You understand? Mr. Vegas, and that's where we will explain what is narcissism. You understand? We will explain a little bit about narcissism. You understand? And there is so much things that could be bothering Mr. Vegas. You understand? And that's where I believe that Mr. Vegas have some sort of or some kind of mental issue that he himself don't know about. You understand? We will get more into it, and hopefully Mr. Vegas will take the time out and check himself and seek help. Let's explain a little bit about narcissists and narcissistic behavior. And I will also read a small article from the internet to give people a brighter view of what I'm talking about. You understand? Because, as I said, this is not it out against Mr. Vegas. I have nothing against Mr. Vegas, but Mr. Vegas really and truly need help, and I hope that Mr. Vegas take this message and check himself. A narcissist is a very controlling person, selfish, self-important, manipulative. There is so many different ways to explain what is a narcissist. There is so many different ways to explain it. But now we're going to just work with a few of the things that we all see Mr. Vegas been doing on the internet that can explain why I think he is a narcissist and why I think he needs help. Okay, let's read through this article real quick and then we will explain a little bit more about Mr. Vegas and his narcissistic behavior. People with narcissistic personality disorder are extremely resistant to change their behavior, even when it's causing them problems. Their tendency is to turn the blame onto others. What more, they are extremely sensitive and react badly to even the slightest criticism, disagreement, or perceived slight, which they view as a personal attack. People in the narcissist's life, it's often easier just to go along with their demand, to avoid the coldness and however, by understanding more about the narcissistic personality disorder, you can stop the narcissist in your life, protect yourself from their power play, and establish elder boundary. Like I said, this is nothing about bashing Mr. Vegas. You understand? I hope Mr. Vegas followers can also look up narcissists, read about it, understand it, and then you can try to help him, because I don't really think Mr. Vegas really understands what is going on with him, because the behavior that Mr. Vegas have on the internet, this is not normal. You understand? Mr. Vegas is suffering from some kind of mental disorder. We all can see that clear, not because we Jamaican and we just believe say if you're in a dirty clothes, if you're in a dirty clothes and then you're out of garbage, you understand? You're not mad. There's a lot of mentally ill people in clean clothes, mad people in a clean clothes. You understand? We all know that, and Mr. Vegas is one of them. You understand? Mr. Vegas has suffered a lot. You understand? And Mr. Vegas been crying out. Mr. Vegas been crying out for a while now, for quite some time. You understand? Mr. Vegas seeking help, but he just don't know how to go about it. So what Mr. Vegas do is Mr. Vegas go on the internet and bully people. You understand? And I personally believe that Mr. Vegas knew what was coming. That's the reason why Mr. Vegas attacked Mr. Handsome like that. You understand? Yes, Mr. Vegas have maybe trying to looking out for the youth of the future. You understand? But it's very clear that maybe Mr. Vegas just try to protect himself. You understand? And Mr. Vegas suffer something. Because, okay, I listened to the interview with this girl. You understand? I listened to the interview with the girl to accuse Mr. Vegas of. We all know. Anyway, if this girl could play that off like that, she deserves an Oscar. She deserves to win Oscar, right? Honestly, because I'm not saying well, I believe this one or I believe that one, but I'm just saying that this girl been going after Mr. Vegas for a while now. You understand? And I also think that there is a song that have something to do with Mel. Say something about Mel in one of Mr. Vegas' song. We just need to dig it up and find which one and then try to remember. But I think something like that. But we're not quite sure. We're not going to get into that right now. But yes, Mr. Vegas, this we understand you've been through a lot. You understand? And we can see clear, Mr. Vegas. You have some kind of problem, and this whole GoFund account and all of these things where you make, you understand, and I send around to people and about winning $5,000 and fill out this application and put in your bank information to win, to receive your money. You understand? To collect whatsoever money. To me, that's a scam. And it just look to me like Mr. Vegas to try anything right now to make $1. Honestly, it just look like Mr. Vegas to try any and everything just to make $1 right now. And if we go as far as, well, you have to be careful what you say sometimes. But anyway, them send me this link and tell me if I pull it out and all that. I mean, I say, hold on, but this don't look right. This don't look right to me. You understand? So I never really fill it up. We just leave it and put it to the side, whatever. You understand? But Mr. Vegas going after every last person on this internet. If you take a look at Mr. Vegas page, everyone who said something about Mr. Vegas, what Mr. Vegas do? Share it, post it. Is that the legend we know? Is that the legend we know? The dancehall legend. You understand? We can mix it dancehall and reggae. Legend. The legend in a dancehall. Is that Mr. Vegas? Honestly. People, Mr. Vegas follower, I want one of you tell me. You follow Mr. Vegas because you love him, or is it just because he act weird or strange and you just like the energy? Well, if you don't really follow him because you love him, I want to know, help him. Try to help him because him been a cry out for a while now. Mr. Vegas been crying out. You understand? We don't want to run this thing all the way to from Montego Bay to Kingston and come back. We just want to make it quick and just hope that Mr. Vegas get his message. There is so much more things I would like to say in this video, but I don't think we can say everything in one video. We're going to have it to be continued. If people don't understand that Mr. Vegas suffer from some kind of mental disorder, some mental issue they go on, something they go on, I don't know. There's something wrong with Mr. Vegas. Mr. Vegas mentally touched right now. You understand? That's very, very clear to me. I'm quite sure say clear to a lot of other people. I'm quite sure say this is clear to a lot of people that Mr. Vegas is not in the right state of mind. Mr. Vegas, big up yourself, bless up yourself. This is VS Entertainment. I hope you seek help, brother. You understand? Because we can't, we respect you. We respect your music. We love your music. We love you. We can't lie about that. You understand? As much as me and you go off and you try this, me talk about me, I'm not going to turn no artist and me will never bust or whatever. We don't really care about that because me is a licer welder. So, me alright. Me I live good. Me nice. But, I hope you seek help, brother. I hope you seek help. I'm not going to stop the music. If I that you try to do it, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to make music. Anyway, people, thanks for watching this video. Big up on yourself, bless up on yourself. There's a lot more. If you want me to be continue and talk more about this thing here until we can just form a community and just try get help from Mr. Vegas, but we won't stop. You understand? If the people request more, we are going to give more, and we're not gonna try to make, we're not gonna try to damage him anymore. We are gonna try to help him. Mr. Vegas really need it. We're gonna try to help him. You understand? I go at him really hard last night, but today I decide to look up a few things, and this is what I come across. Narcissism. Mr. Vegas, yo. I hope you get help, Mr. Vegas. Ever since this girl cheat on you, you're just damaged. You're not you anymore, Mr. Vegas. We hope you get help. You understand? Get well, brother. Get well. Get well. You understand? It's VS Entertainment. Remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And big up on yourself, bless up on yourself. VS Entertainment.
Song after song. Song after song. If you see me pain, me wonder if you woulda feel it. Cry myself to sleep and wake up and at the same thing. No one know you struggle dark, cause it's in your drinking. See me in the street, man, me have a bright smiling. Every day me show a face, we tell you that I'm great king. But when me close me eye, it feel just like say I'm drowning. It's a everyday thing, we just go round and show the fake smile. Smiling at your face, you turn round, you get the knife. Turn around again and then we look you in your eyes. Look you in your eyes and then they them deny. Me want to know how that thing you said so start. You a roll every day in your car. In your car and you want bag a man apart. The war for start and then we left you up on the tar. We no friend, how the man you cut so fast. Every man to themself to ha ha ha. Me day up on the struggle I do it. For me story, yes, me have to tell you it. Grab a pen now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, nothing never Chris. The system never love wig. Them bring be a gun figure with. Grab a plate there and a magazine. Miss a man, I know that me a pre. See that Kyle them want to reach.